the lovely fall morning it is.
Yeah.
I love this weather, it's like my favorite weather. It's- all right. And our Sunday services are being live streamed. We're on YouTube now, so that's super cool. Anybody can tune in and watch, which is great. If you want to help support us, we take donations off PayPal, and we also can take donations straight off our website. There's a little button, just unityofbillings.org. And today we've got Orlinda Worthington.
That's not the title, but.
No, it's our spiritual ballad. Yeah?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Last time, change it.
It's PowerPoint, it does what it wants to do. Yeah, it's all good.
Although we might need spiritual filters, but maybe that's supposed to be the topic today.
That's all good. And then next week, we have Reverend Edie Weigel talking about connections. And then the week after that, it's me talking about original grace.
Yay.
Yeah. And then we have the Unity song with David Friedman. Everybody gonna be okay? I'm trying to move this thing around so that.
I don't think it's on.
It looks like it's
Oh,
on.
you're not close enough.
Every prayer is answered, every prayer is heard, every thought and feeling, every spoken word, what your soul has longed for, what your heart can feel, is already here, is already real. There is no one out there is no one else. You hold all the answers deep inside yourself. There's a voice that whispers, there's no you, no me. There's just one, there's just unity. One power, one presence, one light to lead the way. All loving, all knowing, that answers when you pray. When the world looks darkest and your eyes can't see, gather all your troubles, give them all to me. I am always with you, I will always be. I am one, I am unity. We are one, we are unity.
Robin got us some nice pictures on there. All right, I'm gonna light the Christ candle, which symbolizes the Christ consciousness within us all. Wish me luck. There we go. It's a lot less stubborn this morning than the last couple of times we tried to do that. All right. And I do believe we have this thing all out of word. Yep. We have the reading of the daily word, which is belong today. So if you'll affirm with me. As
spiritual beings, we all belong
in the heart
of God.
A true sense of belonging is one of the best feelings in the world. It's knowing I am at home, fully accepted just as I am, and valued for my unique contributions. Today, I celebrate my belonging as a divine being, a child of God. No matter my station in life, my personal history, or my particular circumstances, I am a valued member of the human family. I extend this understanding to all others. I look beyond appearances and even my own preconceived notions to see my fellow divine beings. I honor their unique gifts just as I would want them to honor mine. We belong together. We belong to one another. We all belong in the family of God. I ask not only on behalf of these, but also on behalf of those who will believe in me through their word, that they may all be one. John 17, 20 through 21. And if you'll affirm it with me again. As spiritual beings, we all belong in the heart of God. And we have our Unity of Foundation principle.
There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent.
And our lovely Unity of Billings affirmation.
Through divine wisdom and grace, Unity of Billings is vibrant, healing, and inclusive.
I love that we affirm all those things every week. Just putting that out into the universe. It's beautiful. I love it. And then if we will affirm the love offering. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful.
All right, we're gonna gather real quick and then we'll do the specials.
Okay. So yeah, they're gonna pass the plates real quick, and then we have Orlinda has some really cool music for us.
Oh, actually, first it's Rick.
Oh,
With
even better.
Yeah.
Live music.
Yeah, even better.
Okay, so in the books, it's number 103.
And I'm gonna play the melody line through once, so you, if you're not familiar with it, that you'll get an idea of what it's about.
Okay, sorry,
No, that's okay.
The blessing of love.
yeah. So just see your beautiful love offerings, hold them in your heart, and just envision them going out into the world to do their work. It ripples out. It seems small here in this little beautiful church, but it ripples out into the community, it ripples out into our city, into our state, into our world, and every little bit is meaningful. All right, and now we have lovely Rev Orlinda Worthington talking about spiritual balance.
Hey, there we
Still
go.
says filter on my sheet, and I knew that was wrong.
Alrighty. Oh, I need to, I just started to say I need to turn myself on, but that's probably wrong for a church. All right, I need to turn this on. Go. Well, yeah. Well, good morning, fellow divine beings, as Leslie called us. And I have to have a special thank you to some divine beings. Robin had something come up last minute, so Clayton and Leslie jumped in to help with the computer stuff, and we weren't sure about platforms, so Leslie ran up from downstairs and did that, yay. And more importantly, she made the coffee, so that's taken care of. So, and I saw Charlene bringing in some treats down there, so it's so wonderful to have such, well, one, a welcoming spiritual community, but also that everybody jumps in and everybody is patient and understanding with that, so very appreciative of that. So welcome to all of you and all of you online for joining us this morning, and a little bit of a late start, but I'll make up for lost time. Will anyone besides me have trouble ever making a decision? Ever? Yeah, probably not any of you, but big and small, and I'm kind of going through a big one right now, and I found myself really stuck trying to come up with an answer. It was almost like kind of a short circuit in my brain. Usually I can get kind of clear or whatever, but just everything was like, I don't know what to do. And then I went, oh, duh, I could make it a spirituality, God, part of my decision making, right? Duh. So I had to remind myself about that, and that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. So more on that to come. And no matter if you're in the middle of a big decision or not, we all have a big decision, of course, in what, 2 weeks? To choose new local and state and national leaders. And that's a big task, might feel daunting before us. There's so much information that comes to us from all sources right now, whether it's, television advertising, mailers, whatever reading you do. And boy, it can get that feeling short circuit in my brain. Like, oh, what's the right decision? But really, it happens to be an election year, but whether or not, the truth of it is, we're making decisions all the time. Like every minute almost of our day in our own lives, which ultimately really, I think, matters the most. So, but with that spirit of election in mind, I like to, tie that in with some things that are happening in our world. So we're gonna work on our spiritual ballot box today. And hopefully that will be a little fun for you. And this is not a political discussion. It's just that's what's happening right now. And whatever decision is going on in your life, this might be some tools that you can use. So creating a spiritual ballot with choices from our highest place in consciousness, from our connection to God. And that's our focus today. And our reading that Leslie did for us out of Daily Word talked about belonging to God. And sometimes I forget that. It feels like, oh, I belong to my community or my friends or my family or my job. It's like, wait a minute, first and foremost, I belong to myself and I belong to God, whatever that means to you. It's all different, and we welcome all of that here. So my number one tip when it comes to making decisions is that the truth is that connection with Spirit is the only thing that can be free and trusted. And that seems kind of weird because it's something kind of ethereal, right? Whatever God is to us, divine energy. And sometimes we want someone to make a decision for us or to help us. And that can be good to have some wise counsel once in a while. But really, the connection with Spirit is the true thing we can trust. At least that's my feeling. And the first principle of unity guides us not only to recognize God's divine presence in ourselves, but to know that God is all there is. That's the first principle of unity. No one, no thing outside of the infinite presence. And these are my words now. The only thing we really can cultivate for ourselves is that no one can take away, or no one can change, or no one can sway, is our consciousness and our own ability to connect to that wonderful divine source and being of who we are. So, along with what I have to say today, choices come up in all kinds of readings and teachings in the Bible. It says, if any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. So that first step to me in making decisions is to get quiet, to take God, that inner knowing, into prayer and make that connection that can be truly trusted. So we can go to God, we can go to the Bible or our spiritual source. We can go to psychology. There are a lot of psychological models about making decisions. You may be familiar with Lynn McTaggart. She's the author of several books, mostly on intentions. And she says when it's time to make a decision, take a few deep breaths and hold the intention of your decision in mind. Now, not the outcomes, not the opinions, the options, and that's really hard to do, right? Just simply hold an intention first. Because for me, I don't know for you, but I start thinking of all my options and all the outcomes, and that's what gets me befuddled. Kind of short circuits my brain, right? So if we simply make an intention, for example, let's say we just want to set our intention for the highest good of all involved. That could simply be simple enough. Or make your own intention statement. Wow, this decision, I want it to be for the highest good of all involved. And then we can go in and get a little more specific. We can set the intention of what we want. Let's say it's for a new job. Our statement might be, I want a job that pays more money, that I can work outdoors. We set our intention a little bit more specifically. And then we hone that into how we want it to be. My intention is to provide my skills and talents to those in need. Say, describe how you want your day to be. Do you want to work alone or with others? Indoors, outdoors? And then you hone that down. How do I want to feel? How do I want to feel in that new job, for example? I want to feel respect. I want to feel abundance. I want to feel fun or camaraderie. Whatever it is for you, we first set that big intention that's for our highest good and all involved, and then we kind of start honing it down to here's what I want, here's how I want it to be, here's how I want to feel. Now those are suggestions from Lynn McTaggart, which are very similar to a lot of New Thought traditions, whether it's Unity's 5-step prayer treatment, religious science treatment. Now for me to help remember that, I like some acronyms. So I have come up with, and I think I have the clicker, the acronym for choice. So our first one is, I guess you can all see over me. I like to think I'm that tall, but I guess I'm not. So our first, when we're making a decision, something we can choose to do if we'd like, is to ask ourselves, am I making a conscious choice? Conscious meaning, am I tuned in to that higher part of myself, God, divine knowing, whatever that is for you? Am I making a conscious choice? Because boy, I don't know about you, but sometimes I just can make a choice and I'm sort of, like in a weird stage. Like on this blackout, okay, I gotta make a choice, okay, it's this. It's like, wait a minute, I can take a breath. I can set my intention and be clear, yes, I'm making a conscious choice. No one's deciding for me. No one's forcing me. This is my conscious choice. Now, we can sometimes want to go along with people, at least I can. Oh, my friend's making this decision, my boss is making this decision. Sometimes we may need to make that too, but even that can be conscious. I'm making a conscious choice to choose to have what they're having. Whatever it is, but make it conscious. Our next for our H is honest. Now that sounds kind of easy. Am I making an honest choice? But as a recovering pleaseaholic, a serial pleaser, that can be difficult sometimes. Am I being honest with myself? Or am I making a choice because I think someone else will like me better for it? Or I'll be more, someone will approve of me more. So am I being honest? And also, am I making this choice? Is it for the highest good of everyone else involved? Am I being kind? Am I being considerate? Whatever the choice is, am I being honest about why I'm making it? We can fool ourselves pretty easily sometimes. It's also been known to happen that, I might make up an excuse because maybe I'm ashamed of the truth, or maybe I don't even know it. And what I've learned is, and someone else said this, I don't know where I read it, but if I have to lie about it to myself or to someone else, I'm lying about it first to myself. So if I have to justify my decision in some way, it's like, wait a minute, why, check in. Why am I doing this? Am I not being honest with myself? And even, for those who like a biblical reference, to sanctify them in the truth. The word is truth. And that's your word. Our O stands for oneness. Now that's a little bit about like what we've talked about, getting in touch with spirit, what our version of God is. But also, can we see every person or situation as one with God? Or are they separate? It's the them, it's the grumpy neighbor, it's the political party, it's the whatever it is. Are they an other? And can we say, wait a minute, everything is a divine being. We may not agree or understand it, but let me just first say, as a friend says, God loves you and God knows why. But we can do that simply. We can just say, you know what, I don't understand this person, this situation, but I wish the best for them. I'll bless them on whatever needs to happen for the highest good. So can we see every person or situation with a sense of oneness? Our I stands for intention with integrity. I can be pretty sneaky with my intentions sometimes. I might see a mistake someone else made at work, and it's tempting to point it out to the boss, because then I'm going to look a little bit better, right? Because I didn't make the mistake, or whatever the situation is. But so what is my intention behind that decision? Does it have integrity behind it? Is it to make myself look better, or is that really important? Whatever our intention might be, am I determined to be right? Seek to be honest about our intention, and then we can adjust it a little bit if necessary. Our next C is for compassion. Have I acted with compassion? Or am I reacting in fear or anger? Am I making a choice because I'm afraid and I don't take a moment to think about it? Have I acted with compassion or reacted with fear or anger? And can I approach that situation differently if I feel I'm acting out with my decision in anger or fear? Usually that fear is underneath anger. And E, energy. Does my choice make me feel energized? Does it make me feel good? Or do you walk away going, oh, why did I do that? Oh, why did I volunteer for one more thing? I'm exhausted. Does it keep you awake at night? I've had that a few of the last nights, thinking about something. So what's my energy around my decision? And the fifth principle of unity guides us beyond that simple understanding of spiritual tools that we must put our prayers into action. So it's wonderful to look at these words and have this in mind, but also to use these words and these ideas of choice when it comes to making a choice, a spiritual one, a good one. When we're coming to create our spiritual ballot, which we're going to do here in a minute. Now, a ballot by definition is a process of voting or making a decision, right? And we think of them as political ballots, but hey, I think they can be used anytime. So now this is tiny. So Robin so kindly made some copies, just so if you want to take a look and share it, just so you can read across the top. And that's my error. I'm not the best at expanding, I guess, Excel sheets. So there you go.
We all have the same idea.
There you go. And that's just to kind of read along. And for those of you at home, I'll save you, so don't worry. So you literally can make yourself a spiritual ballot box, a spiritual ballot if you choose to.
Thank you.
Now, I give out the wrong one? Oh, okay. So let's talk first about what you might want on your spiritual ballot box. Now there's a side for decisions, but we might want the qualities and the conditions for any decision. And are there any absolute no-nos? Is there an absolute no that a line you won't cross in making a decision if it harms someone else or whatever it might be? What qualities and conditions might you need to surrender to make a good decision? Oh, I'm going to surrender the fact that I need to be right. I'll let that go. So those are some things you can consider. And we're going to do a little radical imagining here now to fill our spiritual ballot box. Ernest Holmes is the founder of religious science, and he says something like, imagination isn't just an idle, meaningless daydream. It can carry with us feeling and conviction, which means life and action. So we're going to imagine right now, if you're comfortable, you can keep your eyes open, you can close them, but let's just imagine. Now you'll notice, let me just back up for those at home that can't see this. On our left, we just have our column for whatever our decision is. New job, what we're going to have for dinner, whatever it might be, something large or small. And then we have the words for choice that we talked about earlier. Conscious, honest, is oneness involved, integrity, compassion, and energy. And this is simply a way to ask ourselves a question, making a decision, making a little check mark. Oh, did I consider all of those things? So let's, for right now, if you'd like to play with me, just take some relaxing breaths, as Lynn Taggart suggests, and as we know is great. And first, even if you don't have a specific intention right now, a specific decision that you're working on, that's okay. We can make one up. And first, remember, we're going to hold the intention of our decision in mind. For example, and then I'll give you a minute to come up with your own. My intention for this decision is to be at peace with my decision. And then our next step for our intention is to hone it down a little bit to what we actually want. I want this new job. I'm trying to decide on a new job. I'm trying to decide on a new car. I'm trying to decide on a healthy meal for dinner, whatever it is. And then we set our intention of what we want to happen. I want this to be easy. I want this to be fun. I want to walk into my new job feeling respect. And again, a moment for whatever your intention is. Now, how do I want to feel? How do I want to feel when I sit in that new car or walk into that new office or sit down to my dinner tonight? How do I want to feel? Relaxed, joyful, at peace, whatever it might be. And of course, course, these change with all of our decisions. And if there is a specific decision that you want to fill in or that you want to contemplate, we can simply go through it and say, and maybe there's a decision that you've made recently that you want to play with, or one you're thinking about. Have I or am I making a conscious choice? And just like we mark our ballot box, we can make a little check. Or we can put a Y for yes or no for not quite yet. Are we being honest? Is there a sense of oneness involved? Is there integrity, compassion, and energy? And while this might seem something to do for a personal decision, you know, one way it may literally work at the ballot box or wherever you are. What qualities do I wish for those in this community to experience? You know, maybe you're on the city council making decisions. What qualities do I want the country to experience? What qualities do I want everyone in the world to experience? If this is the decision that may affect that. And I feel it's important when we're asking about these qualities, if, for example, we do choose to use this for whether it's our elections coming up or elections for something in your workplace or organization, you know, we erase the names, we erase the faces. Sounds a little hard to do, but I bet you can, even just for a moment. We just erase the names, we erase the faces, we erase the parties, we erase the whatever groups are pitted against each other. And we simply, if we choose, think about the qualities of God that we want in our elected leaders, in our school board, in our church leaders. What are the God qualities? You know, compassion, wisdom, concern for all. It's important to remember that those qualities must be first embodied in yourself, usually. So what qualities might we want to be involved with this person or this decision? And I find it helps to write them down. And if it helps you to put a decision down and go, okay, I've made a decision, I'm making a decision. Am I being conscious, honest, at one, considering oneness? Have integrity, compassion, and does it bring me energy? And then we can close it out. I complete my spiritual ballot on whatever topic with trust. I trust in myself to co-create with divine intelligence to make decisions that are for the highest good in my life and the life of others. Humans, plants, animals, undersea life, all that lives, moves, and has its being. And I have one final question for you that I think might be most important to ask when we're making a decision. Does it bring me joy? Does this bring me joy? There's a great book by Reverend Roger Teal, This Life is Joy. And he talks about really, you know, time is short, right? So we're getting ready for our song. Does it bring me joy? And you know what? That might even be the only question we need to ask. Does it bring me joy? Does everything about this feel good? Am I checking in with my body? Am I checking in with my mind and my spirit? And so I have found this, it's a song, but it has a video with it. And it just cracked me up because, as many of you know, I'm in the news business, so this struck home to me. I'll bet it will strike home to any of you who listen to the news or don't, because of the negativity. The truth is, you know, it's our responsibility to do the work, to get centered and connected with God and those God qualities that we want to experience and express in our decisions. And that's our freedom of choice. And sometimes we forget that because other things come into play. But this is a song, and I am so sorry I forgot the artist.
King and Country.
Sorry, say it again.
For King and Country.
For King and Country, and they're, because I always like to tribute that. And so I think you might find it fun and a good way to remember that our decisions hopefully bring us joy. And, you know, at some point, if you want to get up and dance, feel free, but it's a little bit of a video at first. It's 5 minutes. Hit it, Clayton.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's lead story once again is Megastorm Hercules.
Yes, and though it seems to be settling over the entirety of the continental United States of America, there is some good news.
It is the storm of the century. It has utterly paralyzed our nation.
On a brighter note, people are really...
It's already claimed the dubious title of the worst of all time.
Thank you for that, Nancy. Let me take a look at the weather.
Lately I've been reading, watching the nightly news. Don't seem to find a rhythm, just wanna sing the blues. Feels like a song that never stops. to stay. I need that joy, 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 joy down in my heart to stay.
On a brighter note, while our circumstances haven't changed, I guess our perspective can. Brother Andy?
Couldn't say it better myself. 10:13.
So, something to think about as we listen to the news. It started out with our
That was awesome.
one person, one person wanting to point out all the negative, and the other newscaster trying to bring in the positive. So the truth is, it is our responsibility to choose joy, to choose promise, to choose hope, to choose whatever it is that fulfills you. We don't have to take in all the other stuff that comes to us. Truth is, we cannot live a choiceless life. So we'll just close with this thought, with this prayer. Every day, every second, there's a choice. I know that I have the right to choose what I experience, the kind of companions with whom I associate, to choose where I live, to choose anything that will enhance my life and bring into it joy. Making no choice or allowing others to make it for me is a choice. I invite all of us to rise in that consciousness, to hold the vibration of love in the context of our precious lives and the lives of others. May we come to all our decisions with peace, living with peace, and the peace that allows us to embrace our oneness and live it in our very actions. May we work together in consciousness, body, mind, and spirit in action, to heal any pieces of humanity. We are in this together. And as our saying from the Daily Word said today, at the basis of it all, we belong to God. And so it is. Amen.
So it is. Rev Orlinda, I just had a little question.
Oh, yeah.